Shout out to good old Mel Tillis there.
Oh man, stomp.
I don't know if you know this, but I actually saw Mel Tillis with my grandparents and a very interesting vacation in Branson, Missouri.
Branson, that's one place I've never been. That's okay.
Well,
right now, that's not on the top of my list of things to do when this is over.
Guys, welcome all to our. This is our third. This is our third virtual tasting. We've been hiding underground, covering or sheltering in place, all that good stuff for the past 3 weeks. It's been an interesting 3 weeks, to say the least. We just had a pretty big freak out on the way over here. Catherine might have to start ironing again.
Yeah, we don't know if dry cleaners are essential or not.
Yeah, that's what I was kind of worried.
It really is essential in my life. So we're going to have to
beautiful wife does not.
I don't want to iron
well.
it again.
But I'm a good ironer.
So why did I have to do it all those years? I don't know.
You never ironed.
Yes, we did. That's why we started using the dry cleaners, because I'm not very good at it.
Well, thank you guys for joining us. I see a lot of people jumping in right now. Welcome. We're so excited to get this virtual tasting rolling.
I want to say hi. Teresa's on here, and Teresa, I just want to say hi. Thank you for your email, and happy birthday to your daughter in Virginia, Michelle. Happy birthday.
Absolutely, Michelle. Happy birthday. And also we have Courtney. Happy birthday. Your husband Ryan is so sweet, and I hope you guys are watching right now.
Great way for families to recognize people on their birthday when they can't be together.
Absolutely.
We're happy to help.
Guys, please, as we start this tasting, please feel free to jump in, comment. We'll try to get to as many questions as we can. Also, tag your friends right now to jump in. We sure do appreciate it. Catherine and I have had a lot of fun with this, and on behalf of the 63 families that are William Chris, thank you, because this is really making a big difference in our company. Thank you guys for all the emails and texts and messages that you guys send us. Posting pictures using hashtag WCVStrong is awesome. Like, I can't tell you, we use Slack internally, and we've been posting different pictures and sharing, emailing different notes that come around, and it's tough. I know everybody's having a tough time with all this stuff that's going on, and hopefully these virtual tastings are making our weeks just a little bit more full of love.
I know it's helping my week.
Yeah.
Look forward to this all week.
Absolutely.
Speaking of, let's dig in.
Let's jump in.
Jump into the first wine.
We've got some really fun wines today. First of all, I mean, we don't have to, but I always like having 2 glasses for a couple of reasons. One, I like to maybe let some wines linger in my glass a little bit. So leaving a wine for 10, 20, 30 minutes and coming back to it is no big deal. And sometimes, especially William Chris wines, they're made with very little intervention, and I think you'll find that the wines change in the glass as you open them. I'd also encourage you guys to check out, we're drinking 4 wines here. Unless you're like Catherine and I, can knock out 4 bottles of wine, no problem, at dinner. No, we don't. I'm just kidding.
Not now that we can't have friends to enjoy with us. If we had some friends, maybe.
Yeah, but no, these wines are great for the next day. Don't sweat leaving these wines in your fridge, especially the red wines or the white wines. You can leave them in your fridge. No problem. Put the cork in pretty firmly and enjoy over the next 2 days.
And if you don't want to open all of them today, just remember, watch and have fun with us, but remember this video will still be available to you on Facebook, so you can just go back and watch it whenever you are ready to open the other bottles, so you can drink along again.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's get started with the One Way Vineyards, Marsanne. These guys are there's actually 2 families that farm this. Really great folks right outside of Lubbock in Floydada, Texas. Floydada, I think is how you say that. Super nice folks. They've been here several times. I hope they're watching right now. So this wine, white wine, obviously was pressed off. We use some partners, a custom crush facility out in Texas High Plains. We bring in the juice the next day or a couple days later, and we kick off fermentation in barrel. which is a lot of fun. We make some Mary Ruth is one of our more famous white wines. It's nice and crisp and acidic. This wine is a little bit more oily. Marsanne, Roussanne, those are definitely varieties that have a little bit more texture to them.
If you're drinking it, go ahead and have a sip, and you'll know what he means when he says oily. That sounds kind of odd, but it does. It's kind of
just
really
describing texture.
Thicker mouthfeel than, like he said, the Mary Ruth.
Absolutely, and I heard it described the other day as like, iced tea is kind of has that little kind of tonicity to it, and I feel like this has a little bit of that tannin to it that you can feel. Marsanne is one of the most oily varieties out there, and also when you're tasting this, I would recommend like swirl the wine around. I always say like it's scope. It's kind of a bad example, but you want to feel the wine all over your palate,
all over your tongue.
Absolutely,
all sides of it. Chris really does a swish. I just kind of let it. I don't know what you call it.
You want to let it fall
over it, but Chris really swishes around more.
Absolutely.
More than I like to do.
I think that's just habit, and I want to like get into the wine not as fast as possible, but I want to say hello to it pretty quickly, and I want to feel how it feels on the sides of my palate, and when I swallow, I want to think about the finish. What an interesting wine. This wine has been not only fermented and also aged in mostly neutral French oak. We have only about 15-20% new barrels on this. But we also do a pretty cool batonnage program, which means we actually come in with a little paddle, and it's really cool. It's got a flat little oval shaped piece on a hinge, and we actually scrape the lees. Those are the heavier proteins that fall to the bottom of the barrel, and every other week we go stir these about 7 times. So we stir those lees back up in solution, which really adds to that mouthfeel. So Marsanne we typically use as a blender. It's typically blended in our Roussanne. You can find some in One Way Marsanne blended into our Skeleton Key White, which you can find on our website, also at HEB, Central Market, and all that good stuff. So, great.
So we don't have any food today. A lot of times we have a little snack or charcuterie to go with our tasting. We don't today. Love to know what you guys are snacking on. It's not quite dinner time, but most people I think like to have a little something with their tasting. So tell us, what are you snacking on right now? And while they do that, what would you pair this with?
This has got a little bit more tonicity to it. I always use like acid goes better with salt. Tonicity goes better with fat. So I would pair this with a little bit more creamier cheese, a little heavier dish. Artichoke dip would be fantastic with this.
That sounds delicious.
For sure. We had those roasted parsnips with this last night. That was absolutely incredible. Shout out to
Heart and Hat. I'm going to butcher this.
Heart and Hat.
Heart and Hat.
Yeah, that's our vegetable company that is saving us right now.
Local farm that usually goes to farmers markets and stuff like that in Austin, and they sell to restaurants that are either totally closed or much smaller ordering right now. So anyway, we've been getting a bag of vegetables from them every week the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, been really delicious. They also do meat and stuff too.
It's been really nice.
Also, when you guys are coming to pick up, if anybody is making it to come do a curbside pickup, I know that they're also selling vegetables and meat. Some of the meat from the farm across the street that we sell, or we don't sell. We give our grapes, and they eat the grape skins. The cows, the Wagyu beef.
So who's selling that?
Timmy Schumann at High Market.
At High Market. Yeah, okay, right across the street from us.
You can also get to-go food too.
Yes, they're open.
It's also open if you come in. So please, we're trying to keep these guys open because in High Texas there's not a whole lot of places to eat. So we want to make sure
we finally have 2.
So let's keep on moving. Again, One Way Vineyards, Marsanne. I'm not sure we're going to have a 19 vintage or not. Most of this might end up getting blended. We might do a small production of this, but this is the 2018. Again, a wonderful vintage for Marsanne. All these wines that we're tasting as well are all High Plains wines. So thank you for Dee for showing my handy dandy finger map. Everybody's got a map of Texas. When we say Texas High Plains, in the Lubbock area, or as I like to say, around your index finger knuckle, or right here. So this is all old seabed. So most of this is Amarello fine sandy loam over limestone, and that's kind of the soil profile. As you get farther north, you'll see a little bit more clay in the soil, but most of the stuff south of Brownfield is pretty sandy loam until you get to limestone. So
I'm getting kind of hungry. I want to see what everyone else is eating. Rusty's got some Holland Gouda. It's a creamy cheese. It
that would
sounds
be perfect
delicious.
for sure.
My dad's on. Hi, Dad. He's eating some schnitzel. Bill has got artisan breads with dipping oils, a roasted tomato basil garlic dip. Delicious.
Ooh, that sounds delicious.
Oh, man. Smoked cheddar and Gruyere, so a lot of cheese out there. Corn chowder. That sounds really, really good with this cooler weather.
If anybody comes to curbside and just wants to drop off food, we would take it for sure. By the way, if anybody wants to bring oysters from Austin, that would be so amazing.
Yeah,
we'll trade you wine.
Yesterday, and nobody brought oysters. Cheetos and wine. All right.
I could get down with some Cheetos.
Queso.
We got a goldfish too.
Goldfish, yes. Oh man, yum. This is definitely making me hungry.
If you didn't get a chance to tune in to our pet nat party yesterday, our kids went freaking crazy and were dancing.
Yeah.
It was
our intro today was
weak
really
sauce.
doesn't hold a candle. You gotta go back and watch the first 2 minutes of yesterday.
I would also highlight the finish too, where we blew a bottle of pet nat all over the place.
After breaking a glass.
Yeah.
It's really great entertainment yesterday.
Which brings me up to another thing. We were drinking out of Gabriel glass. Not a have-to thing at all, but we have searched high and low. We just moved our winery over to these Gabriel glasses. We sell them at the winery. They ship really well. They come in a really cool box. I believe they are on the internet now, so you can add them to your cart, and we'll be happy to ship them. They are expensive, but there is not a nicer glass on planet Earth. Besides trying to bust the top off of a Pétillant Natural bottle, they're pretty durable.
And if you want to learn more about him, Dee, who works for us, he does with us, I should say. He's our Psalm level 4.
He's working on his level 4.
Working on his level 4. Anyway, he's awesome. He does our happy hours during the week, Monday to Friday at 5 o'clock. And I think it was this Monday that he really dug deep into the different shapes of wine glasses and why there are different shapes, what the purposes can be, and why this one is such a good one for any kind of wine. Anyway, those are still also on Facebook if you go back and find Mondays. Watch it. It's really, really entertaining and educational.
Absolutely. He's been doing a great job, to definitely tune into him. Also, guys, at the very end of this, we're going to do a pretty cool announcement, so kind of wait till the very end. We've got a cool announcement about our wine.
What are we drinking? What's next?
This is what I could pry from you last night. We did a fun Zoom tasting with some of our guinea pigs, aka my old fraternity brothers. Thank you guys for putting up with us yesterday. It was a lot of fun. We had way too much fun last night. It was great to get a little bit of normalcy, and we did a Zoom tasting, which was great. I think we're actually going to be ready to roll that out maybe next week. We'll wait and see, so we can get in a little bit more intimate setting, which was a lot of fun.
We're still going to do these though.
Yes, absolutely.
These aren't going to disappear when those come on.
This is the 2017 Grenache from Lahey Vineyards. A couple of guys do a really great job. Matt Adams and Jerry Weaver, they're fantastic farmers. They're actually, I think, the largest farmers in the state of Texas. They grow cotton, corn, peanuts, grain sorghum, you name it, and they have a little over 1,000 acres of grapes now, and they grow a very wide array of grapes as far as they have grapes that go into a $10 bottle and grapes that go into a $60 bottle. So really great guys, and they're also we're kind of a needy winery in that we expect a heck of a lot, and they're always really great to work with us. But Grenache is typically blended. You'll see most of this Grenache from Lahey will end up going into our GSM wine, and since we switched up Artist Blend to be all hill country, we've been able to save some of this Grenache and use it in some of our Rhone blends and feather it into a little bit of the Mourvedre every now and then.
Chris said a GSM. GSM is Grenache Syrah Mourvedre blend. It's very common
Right.
to find those three blended together.
So Grenache is such a great variety, and again, you don't see it by itself very much, but it's really where the fruit comes from. When I say fruit, when we're blending Grenache, Syrah, and Mourvedre, the really fruit-forward aspect, or some of the sweeter notes come typically from the Grenache. And not the Merlot, not the Mourvedre, and not the Syrah. You know, that grittiness and the color comes from the Syrah, and the Mourvedre kind of, fills all those holes. And then, in Texas, we're really blending this a little bit differently in that we're using it in Grenache, Syrah, and also adding a little bit of Tannat, which is really rounding out those edges and giving the wines a little bit more ganas, you can say. So,
there you go.
I'm going to use that to describe wine more often. Some ganas.
I haven't heard you say that in a while.
Okay. Also, before I forget, next week's 4-pack, guys, is...
So actually, Deb just asked, is that in the shop yet? And it is in the shop, ready for you to order, and order early so you make sure you get it in time for next.
If you haven't been to our wine shop, Anthony, our CEO, is amazing. He's been going through like a kid in a candy shop, and just like, we have so many cool old vintages that he's done a great job. Yeah. They've hid them from me because I think I'm the worst. I'll just go in and just grab stuff and drink it,
Which really is wonderful for me, because I get to enjoy everything without getting in trouble. He gets in trouble.
Anthony's done a great job at hiding this, so we can actually sell it to our fans in times of need, especially like now. Mm-hmm. So next week's 4-pack is this is our Texas High Plains Rosé, our brand new one that just got released. This you could not taste it. It's not even really tasted at the winery. It's just at HEB right now for Tex Fest. But I know a lot of fans out there don't have HEB or are not getting, or they're getting groceries delivered, which HEB isn't doing delivery, which is kind of a bummer.
Well, HEB is doing delivery.
They're doing delivery, but not of alcohol.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I understand what you're saying.
So thank God for the UPS, man. So this is going to be in the
So don't make an extra trip to HEB, but when you go for your normal bi-weekly grocery trip.
So next up is the Timmins Estate Mourvedre. This again is a really fresh, aromatic Mourvedre, grown right on Andy and Lauren's back porch. Love this wine. I think that it's going to be killer next week whenever we pop this one. It's been about 7 months in oak. And then Paca Zinfandel from our friend Kumar Paca, who actually lives in New York. I hope he's doing well. Big shout out to him. But the vineyard is in Brownfield, Texas, and this is all farmed by the Lost Straw team too. We have never made a Zinfandel before. This is the very first one. Some of the Zinfandel went into our Wonder series, but I think this is another one I know Catherine's really excited about.
Every week I'm just excited as anyone to see what Anthony has chosen for our pack.
And then this is the grand finale. Wait for it. The High Estate Tannat. These are farmed right outside. This is a killer vintage in the Hill Country too, 2016. Again, pretty incredible. You can get this 4-pack, I think, for $120, and if you use WCV Strong, you can get an extra $20 off, and that includes shipping. I cannot believe we're doing it for that, but
I'm not sure if it does include shipping.
I believe it does.
Oh, it does. I don't know.
So. Check out all those wines
and
in
this
there.
is a virtual tasting pack 4.
Yeah,
the old tasting packs are still, I think they're all still on the website. So if you missed one, want to go back and revisit the video, they're still there. But this one is number 4.
Also, guys, consider sending these packs to friends. Mm-hmm. If you wish that your dad, your mom, your friend, your cousin could do one of these, tag them. Go ahead and put their name right now in the comments section, and it will tag them on here. Or better yet, send them one. Nothing says you care like sending out a little William Chris wine.
Package. Yep.
Little care package, absolutely.
It's not just Texas. We have all the states that we can ship to listed on our website in the store. Mm-hmm. So if you have someone out of state that you want to send some to, we most likely can ship to them. Just check it out.
I think we can ship to almost 40 states now, I think, or 38.
Yeah, it's in the 30s. Mm-hmm. We ultimately, one day, hopefully we can do all of them. Some of them don't allow any shipping, but.
Absolutely. Let's keep on cruising. The next wine, some of my favorite folks. This wine is farmed by Tony and Madonna Phillips. Great folks. They make some amazing chili at harvest, so it's they have a soft spot in all of our hearts.
You've talked about that chili a lot the last few weeks. I maybe need to get their recipe so I can make it for
epic,
you.
yeah.
You're really missing it.
So Tony and Madonna are great folks. They're great growers of ours too. They do an amazing job. They're really kind of like so many of our other growers, pull out all the stops to grow the absolute best grapes possible. We have about 5 acres of Sangio there. Some of the Sangiovese, or the Sangiovese was picked, and then we saigny, which means to bleed. So we actually bleed off a little bit of the fermentation, and most of that rosé goes into our Pétillant Naturel. And then what that does is it leaves behind a greater skin to juice ratio. So if you say you had 100 gallons of must, right, which is like what freshly picked grapes, and then you took juice out of it, and we basically have this big kind of a flamethrower looking thing. It's a big sieve that we put in the bin of grapes and suck out just juice, leaving behind all the fruit. And what that does is allows for a little greater tonicity. We have just gives the wine a little bit better texture, a little bit better color, and also makes amazing rosé at the same time. And so we call it our hillbilly Saigny rig, and this is something we go out at 2 o'clock in the morning when we're picking, and our team, excuse me, it was a very productive cough too. That's not the Rona. It's not the Rona.
We shouldn't joke about that. It's scary.
That is not.
It's really scary.
But we end up pulling out the juice. It's a very labor intensive task. So basically, the fruit doesn't have any time to pick up any color. So the rosé is very light, very pink, which is awesome, and then also gives maximum skin contact with the wine. So, what are you tasting this, babe?
Ooh, cold.
I know you always love this wine.
I do love this wine. But
I get kind of like
I get nervous when you ask me.
Right, red apple,
he's the professional.
a lot of cherry, a lot of cola, and I think a lot of the cola
Did you
comes
already
from the
say
lime stuff.
blackberry?
I didn't, but I
get
like that. Look
blackberry.
at
There
you.
you go.
Look at you.
Don't ask me anymore.
Yeah. Hey, also shout out to what was her name, Miss Waterwood or Water?
Yeah.
Waterwall.
Sarah Waterwall.
Sarah Waterwall
Won our photo contest.
Yes.
Photo video contest last week.
Congratulations. If we're gonna post that up in the next couple of days.
So you can all see it if you missed it.
Really, really, really cool.
What she did is she got William Chris bottles, and she wrote handwritten notes and dropped them off on her neighbor's front door steps, just as a little gift to a neighbor from afar, just sharing the love, sharing a piece of our world.
Pretty amazing video. Thank you
That's what
again
we're all
so much
about.
for doing that.
She's so sad.
Oh,
Hi!
thank you. So Phillips Vineyard Sangiovese.
This is
And
so
I think
good.
it is so good. And this was
I was the most excited about the Grenache, but tasting through them, I think this is actually my favorite of these
I
four.
kind of go back and forth. So. Next up is Malbec at Gilliam Gap Vineyards. This is farmed in Ropesville, Texas. This is only about maybe 15 minutes south of Lubbock. Dusty Gilliam and his wife, amazing folks. They've been farming grapes with us for I think this maybe 19 is probably their 8th or 9th vintage with us, maybe 7th.
Almost since the beginning, then.
Yes,
That's awesome.
He's an alfalfa farmer or a hay farmer, and he's actually the vineyard manager now for Buena Suerte Vineyards in Meadow, Texas, which we buy some fruit from as well. Super great guy, but he and his family have about 3.5 acres of Malbec, and just spectacular, salt to the earth people. We're so glad to have them on our growing team. And over the years, we've really grown together as far as like working new techniques and new ways to farm. And he's just been really receptive. So I hope they're doing well. But what's just as cool is the first time I kind of committed to the vineyard, and Bill and I asked Bill to come look at it with me. He said, "Hey, I want to get your opinion. I really like this guy. I really like the site. Do you want to come look at it with me?" He said, "Yeah, absolutely." So we went up and looked at the vineyard, and as we left, he Bill said, I grew up right there, like I think it's like 2 or 3 fields over, right down the road.
That's cool.
So it's pretty. This wine is pretty close to Bill's heart. And speaking of Bill, he said to tell everybody hello. I think he's probably watching right now. He is self-quarantined at the ranch in Mason with his beautiful bride Beth. They both said to say hello. I was on the phone with them. They're doing really well.
We miss them.
Yeah, we miss them big
seeing
time.
their faces at least.
So, but he's hard at work in the vineyards too, helping the guys. We've kind of got our team split up just to make sure that we quarantine everybody or practice safe distance.
Yeah, it's easy enough to do in the vineyard. Thank goodness.
Absolutely. So
before we rush into this, I'm still really savoring my Sangiovese. Do you have any questions? Yeah?
Oh, sure.
What would you guys pair with the Sangiovese?
Oh, good question. We didn't talk about that with Grenache either.
So Sangiovese, I'm like a barbecue chicken fan. Chef Ty made some amazing barbecue chicken yesterday, and I tell you what, this with barbecue chicken is phenomenal. There's a little bit of like cinnamon and clove in the Sangio, which I absolutely love. A lot of that comes from the barrels that we use, and a lot of fruit, a lot of cola. And I think that I wouldn't say slathered with barbecue sauce, but definitely barbecued chicken, smoked chicken. Perfect pairing.
Really, I'm getting hungry.
Yeah, me too. We're raiding the freezer. We're making a chicken fried pheasant tonight, so I'm kind of excited.
I'm very excited.
Yeah, the lady.
I'm not looking forward to cleanup. That's always a mess.
The lady at the grocery store said, "I usually don't allow people to get 2 jugs of buttermilk, but since I know you, here's 2." Yeah.
Thank you, grocery store.
Thank you, Lowe's. Okay.
Did you happen to look for toilet paper and paper towels when you were there?
I didn't.
When your husband goes to the grocery store.
So let's get into this Gilliam Gap Malbec. So Malbec, it's a tough variety, and that I think that we can grow just as good or better Malbec than anybody on the planet Earth, and I really, really mean that.
When you say we, you mean Texas?
Texas, absolutely. We grow some fantastic Malbec right outside here. We used to have a Malbec block at Granite Hill, and we also have one Malbec block at Lastra Vineyards and another Malbec block at Gilliam Gap. And really, I think the quality that we're seeing is so amazing. The one thing that we always got to be careful of is late season rain. And so a lot of varieties can take 1 or 2 rains. Malbec is not one of those varieties. It's a little bit more thinner skinned, and so we make sure that the crop load is very, very low. And Dusty and Andy and Dusty Timmons and Dusty Gilliam, I think everybody named their kids Dusty. Which is a really interesting story about Dusty Gilliam, the guy that farms this. His best friend growing up is Dusty Timmons, so they were both named Dusty. Also, they both have twin boys, both Dusty Timmons and Dusty Gilliam.
Okay.
They both have sets of twins.
Yeah.
I think
But they don't have the same names in those twins, do they?
No.
Oh, that's where I thought you were going.
They all named their
We
kids.
can relate to having friends with our same name. Chris and Catherine are like the most common names of the early 80s, I think. So. We can relate. Okay, but go back to, we're talking about the Malbec, and you said you wanted to keep a low fruit yield.
Low tonnage, meaning...
Yeah, so how do you, tell people how you can accomplish that.
So right after fruit set, well, we make sure that we prune very efficiently and that we're not hanging too much fruit. And then after fruit set, and when I say not hanging too much fruit, meaning we do bud counts and make sure that we don't leave too many buds on the cordon, on each cordon. And then after fruit set, meaning the flowers have shattered, they've been pollinated, and we're left with little bitty berries, we can kind of go out and gauge how much fruit is out there. And so this vineyard we target right at 4 tons, because there's been years in the past that we've seen that, there's 3 different harvests I think that we've harvested, and like as soon as we're done, like an hour later, it's just pouring down rain. And that's one thing that Malbec does not like, especially when it's very ripe. And it's a little bit of an earlier ripening variety as well. Mm-hmm. So we've really got to be super careful of that. And if we had more tonnage, say if we did 4.5 or 5.5 tons, the chances of the ability of those vines to actually ripen that fruit on a timely fashion it's gonna take longer to ripen that fruit. So it's definitely got to be very, very well managed, and Malbec will set a lot of fruit too if we're not careful. So.
Well, I'm sure people are thinking, what about all this rain right now? I don't know. I don't know where you guys are. Everyone's all over the place, but here in High, it has been raining nonstop all day. It started yesterday afternoon, but now is an okay time for rain for us.
That's a great question.
In the life cycle of the grape, we don't have any fruit on there yet. We just had bud break, a week and a half ago in the hill country?
Yeah, maybe 2 weeks ago. Yeah.
So there's no fruit to mess up.
This is the best time to get rain. We love getting rain right now. This adds a lot of natural minerals to the soil, but also flushes out any salts that were in the soil. And all this rain now means that we don't have to irrigate as much later. So wine grapes are a wonderful wonderful plant, in that most of the water that we retain will mean that we don't have to water later. So especially for our high plains guys.
Have they had bud break yet in the high plains?
Just barely starting. So we're looking at, I think it takes about 28-ish inches of water to ripen, say, a cotton crop. And you need that in a 4-month period. I'm sure there's some cotton guys there that can
correct you if you need.
Yeah. But it takes about 26 to 30 inches of rain to ripen a grape crop. But what's really cool is we can take that rain almost all year round. So we can appreciate 12 months of rain, to where a crop like cotton is only 4 months, and it has to have that rain to ripen. So I think if Tony's on here, he will thumbs up me or yeah.
If you want to know more about the life cycle of a grape, I mentioned Dee's happy hours earlier. He had another day. I can't remember if it was even this week or last week, but we can put it in the comments in a minute. But that one day he focused on the life cycle of a grape and when the grape goes through the different stages of growth and all the way back to dormancy in the winter. Really good information.
So looking at this Malbec, wow, big fruit. This is a 2017 Malbec. Great structure. This wine is delicious today. It can lay down, in my opinion, for another 5 years. I wouldn't go ribeye with this. I would go maybe New York strip, a little less fatty. I wouldn't go. This has got great structure, great grippy tannins.
Before you ask, I smell cherries.
Okay.
Pressure's off.
Well done.
Thank you.
Done. Yes. Yeah, a little bit of pepper too. Yeah. But I would definitely, when you're pairing this, I would look at with that structure. I would want to go. I love red meat with this. Also love pork loin with this, or pork steaks. But I wouldn't get something like overly fatty. I wouldn't probably go fried food with this. I don't think that would be a good pairing, because it's not as tannic as other varieties, if that makes sense.
So we can't have it with our pheasant tonight.
Well, we could pre-game with this.
Have it before the
yeah,
pheasant.
Absolutely.
While you're frying it up.
Guys, do we have any questions before we wrap up here?
Someone is having burgers tonight, and they wanted to know what paired well out of the 4 burgers.
So what? Sangio or this one?
I would do the Sangio or the Grenache for sure. That's what I would highly recommend. Also,
out of the 4? Is that what you're asking?
Yeah, no, out of that 4, but
okay.
I was saying to repeat maybe.
The question was what will go best with burgers tonight of these 4 wines. And Chris said the Sangio. You said Sangio or Grenache?
Yeah, or I would go Sangio or Malbec. I would
Okay.
go Sangio or Malbec. Yeah, I probably wouldn't go Grenache with that. You can grill the burgers with the Grenache, and then start with the Malbec and the Sangio for sure.
There you go. We didn't talk about Grenache food pairing.
I would definitely go lighter on the meat side. Again,
You have a fresh pasta.
Fresh pasta would be fantastic. I love pasta with the Sangiovese as well, but Grenache, I definitely I love fish with Grenache, especially what is the sauce with not piccata, but what is one with olives and like a red sauce?
I don't know what it's called, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, we used to make it at the old restaurant. Remember the Gennari? anyways.
I don't know what it's called.
I love,
but
yeah,
some olives and capers and a
Right.
light red sauce.
with the saltiness, yeah.
So good.
There's some really great acid to this with this Grenache. So
And then we have another good one. What determines the different bottle sizes? Like
Oh, the shape.
oh, the bottle
shape of
shape.
them, yeah.
That's a great
That is a
question.
good
So
question.
you can see in front of me here. We've
Bring
got
all the
a
differences.
burgundy bottle with soft shoulders, right? And these are not hard and fast rules. It's not governed by anybody. And this is this with the tall shoulders. This is a Bordeaux bottle. So
Maybe-
historically,
I'll get my white shirt behind it. It's easier to see. There you go.
okay. So historically, the tall shoulders are Bordeaux varieties, meaning Malbec, Petit Verdot, Cabernet Sauvignon, Cabernet Franc, and Malbec and Merlot. And then the Rhone bottles, like these two, that's for Grenache, Mourvedre, Syrah, all that good stuff. This bottle style is the name for it. I didn't name it. It's called the Alienor.
A funny story. So
This
I
is not
I work on the
traditional.
labels, and the label's shape and size varies also because of the bottle. And Tony, our winemaker, would come in. He's like, "Oh, it's going to be in the Cabo or the Alienor," and I'm like, "Which one is that?" I don't know these code names from the vendors.
Right.
Anyway, keep going.
So before we wrap up, guys, we got a few really cool things. Also, the virtual tasting. Remember that's available online right now. You can get on and pick that up. For all you out-of-state folks, please order before Monday.
Right. Just go ahead and
Typically
order
it gets
now
there
so
in
we
2
can
days.
ship it on Monday.
Yeah, we'd really like to get it
Get it
out.
on
Texas is pretty good about 2-day shipping. And our shipping company, Wine Cup, they're doing awesome. I tell you what, they're
Working overtime for
yeah,
sure.
for sure.
Thank you. Thank you for making them work overtime.
Absolutely.
To get all this out.
I
It's great.
cannot tell you the how much you guys ordering these wines is helping our company. We still have every single person on our team is going strong. We have a great plan to kind of ride this out in this kind of new normal. As we're just adjusting every day. So thank you guys for your patience.
Take it a step even further. It's not just supporting us, but it's supporting the company that ships for us. It's supporting the UPS drivers. It's supporting the guys who work at the cork place. I mean, there's so many people that are affected by just one purchase that you make.
It's huge.
Amazing.
The barrel guys out there for sure. We're gonna have to buy grapes again. The vines don't stop because of Corona. We're gonna, I had 2 different growers call me this morning and say, "Hey, are you gonna have the money to buy fruit this year?" And absolutely, we're making these changes and cuts to our budget and all that stuff right now, so we can make sure that we can come out of this stronger and better. And just to remind everybody, it's not getting easier, right? We're all just getting stronger. And when you're having a tough day, if you're having to go on another conference call or whatever, just remember have that cheerful attitude. Remember that you're going to be able to come taste with us again next Saturday.
Light at the end of the week.
Absolutely. So thank you guys for all tuning in today. Oh, before I forget.
The big announcement.
Yes. So I can't really show you, but if we could spin around, you'd see our tasting room is empty. It's Saturday. Usually it's full. And usually it's full with people drinking wine, which we started to see. We actually have, because we're going to be closed probably for the next month and a half at least, we're going to have a little extra inventory, which means that we now have 50 spots opened up for the wine club.
And if you didn't know, we've had a wine club since almost the very beginning. I think it was 4 or 5 years ago, we had to move from just letting anyone join that wanted to a waiting list because of the demand and how much wine. Right, we just didn't have the inventory to support the demand. But now we have a little extra. Our tasting room hasn't been open to people, so we've got extra. So we're thrilled to open it up to people who have been waiting or just been interested. It doesn't cost anything to join. You only pay for the wine that you receive. We do 4 to 6 releases a year right now. Pretty much everyone's getting shipped, but we do still have curbside, so you can pick it up. And when all this is over, pick up or ship, your choice. There's different levels. It's 4 bottles, 6 bottle, or 12 bottles each time. These are all red wines, but if you're interested in the whites or the rosés, we have a white and rosé supplement that you could add on to your package.
Which is the White and Rosé and the Magnum Club are closed unless you're a wine club member. So
Right.
you get access to so many different great single vineyard wines that most people don't ever see. So
Yeah, first access, you get great deals on all the wines. You get wines that non-club members never see. They're just never released because they're such
and you
small
get to
production.
come and hang out with us at amazing
Yeah.
parties. That when we're allowed to party,
When we can have a
we
party.
throw great parties. So, guys,
If you want more information, there's going to be a link, may already be there in the comments. So you can go there for more information, and through that link, there's a way to contact our wine club manager if you want even more information than you can find on the website. We're happy to help you.
absolutely. And guys, again, we have I think 7 people per day on the phones. So please feel free, if you're having a bad day, if you're having a great day, if you want to talk to somebody, call us on the phone. If you want to have food and wine pairing, ask food and wine pairing questions. If you're looking at our website and you see 40 different bottles of wine and you need somebody to give you advice on what you think you would like, our folks are ready. They're all working from home. They're ready to rock and roll. So please don't feel bad about calling us.
No, they want to talk to you probably more than you want to talk to them.
Absolutely.
They're used to seeing people every day and helping people and talking about wine, and they miss it.
So stay tuned for some of our Zoom tastings that we're looking at rolling out in the next week or so, maybe 2 weeks. Stay tuned and have some patience. Check out next week's 4-pack. Thank you guys so very much. We thank you. Seriously, it kind of chokes me up
Cheers
every
to
time I
y'all.
think about it, that there's so many great folks out there. Again, if you want to have some fun and drink some pet nat, check out the party we did yesterday. Our kids are literally going apeshit, like dancing. It was awesome. So it was way cooler intro than we did today. But we're gonna get better at our intro too. So love you guys. Thank you. We'll talk soon.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Yeah. Cheers, babe.
Cheers. Love you.